Hey guys, Elderfall 101 here, back here with another tier list. In today's tier list, we are going to tier list a bunch of NPCs in Skyrim if we can beat them in a fight or not. Obviously, all of them are very buff. Like, if you ever kill them and you take off their armor, they're all just freakishly buff, even the women. Besides that, we're just going to look at them as a character and just see if I can beat them in a fight or not. Right? Like, obviously, all these people are going to whoop my butts because they live in a different type of world than I do. And, like, for me, a hard fight would be against a squirrel. For them, they're fighting freaking dragons, okay? So just, like, keep that in mind. I mean, they have to worry about saber-tooths on the daily. So, first of all, we have the girl, the blacksmith woman from Whiterun. Um, I would say I would beat her in a fight. Oh, whoa. Well, let's name these. Okay, so for A, I would give it like 75%. 75% chance I win, right? 75%. What the world? Can I type, please? 75%. 100. 100% chance I win. B tier, about a 50% chance. Like, realistically, they're all going to be D, which is just 0% chance. 25. About a 25% chance. Her, I would say, I would comfortably say 75%. I mean, she's a blacksmith. She's probably used to lifting a bunch of, like, heavy, like, metal and stuff like that. She's probably at least somewhat equipped with a sword. Like, for the purpose of this battle, it's not just going to be a fist fight, you know? Like, I'll get, like, one weapon, maybe like a steel sword, like a very average weapon. I'm not going to get some Daedric artifact. Ayla the Huntress, I mean, she's a warrior. I mean, it's definitely I wouldn't say a 0% chance. I'm gonna give it a 25% chance. There's possibility I could win. You also got to factor in she's a werewolf. I just think though, there's a lot more dangerous people out there that like I think I could take. Like I couldn't take. You know, like when we get down here to the bottom, like Alduin and stuff like that. Like those are obviously 0% chance. This is that weird creep that follows that one woman around that you meet in Riverwood. Probably 100%. He's just an average dude, and I would say I'm an average dude. But the thing is, I have that dog in me, and he doesn't. So I would be more worried about her because she's like a blacksmith. She trains. Him, he's just a dude that follows a woman around all day. An executioner. I think I could beat him if I was given a steel sword, but also he kills people for a living, so I wouldn't. He's not on the level of Alayla the Huntress, and his job's a little bit more physical and killing than hers, so he's probably gonna go into the 50%. Another blacksmith, under the same vein, but this is a big dude. I mean, she's a pretty small woman. Not really small, but relatively for Skyrim characters, she's pretty small. Also, I gotta make sure I don't spend like an hour on each character. So I'll give him a 50%. I think he's more likely than her. I actually don't know this guy, but he looks low key like a nerd. Kind of looks like on the same level. He's wearing a freaking like party outfit. He's a nerd. This is the guy who takes control of the Magnus, the Eye, the thing of like that. He's gonna be so strong. I mean, there's really no like he has magic. Any character with magic already puts him a step ahead of most of these people. These are. I think this is one of the homeless people in Winterhold. I definitely could beat a homeless person. I'm not going to beat a homeless person, but I definitely could. This is the old lady. I think she's just the old lady who lives in that shed. That's another 100%. She's probably at the top of the 100%. I don't think she's magical. This guy, that's a 0% chance. If I'm thinking correctly, he is the snow elf who has Oriel's bow, and he's a vampire. His boss battle is already like somewhat kind of difficult. So yeah, I'm a little scared when we get down here to the Daedric gods. Give me a second. Add a row below. Here, and we're gonna say let's do the dark green. Oh, gods. Because, yeah, the gods are definitely below 0%. But the thing is, some of the gods might just straight up spare me, and just, like, toy with me. Okay. He's definitely going to be he's going to be at the top of the 25%. 25% seems very high. Obviously, because he is a werewolf and a Dark Brotherhood. Yeah, Dark Brotherhood and werewolf, there's no chance. Even with a steel sword, Dark Brotherhood and werewolf. But he was low-key, like, slimed out by a bunch of Imperials, low-key. Like, spoiler alert. If you have not done the Dark Brotherhood questline, go away now. He gets killed by a bunch of Imperials with fire. And while in his werewolf mode, brother, I could probably I'll give him a 25%. A Greybeard. I'm going to give a Greybeard a 0% chance of me beating them. I mean, they're just crazy just like shouts, This gal, another Dark Brotherhood member. It's going to be very hard. But also, she got freaking clapped by some freaking, spoiler alert, fire. So, all I got to bring is like a little lighter. Like a little, just turn the lighter on. She starts running away. That being said, she is still a 25% chance. She is a Dark Brotherhood member. I don't remember if this is a god or not. I don't think he's a god. I think he's a normal man. But he's also just living energy. He's just there. So I don't think I could even beat him if I tried. So I'm gonna give him a 0% chance. I don't see how I'm a kid. He's the kid who summons us to the Dark Brotherhood thing. I'd punt him across the room. No questions asked. This girl, she is the vampire girl that is in the Dark Brotherhood. She's a vampire, but she is also a child. But she's also a Dark Brotherhood member. So I would give her a 50-50. She's not just a normal kid, and her being a vampire is going to toss it up a little bit. But, I mean, you got to think, I'm like a 6-foot tall dude, somewhat muscular, so, that's what I got into it. Because, I keep on prefacing this. Even this freaking homeless dude down here is freaking yoked, bro. He looks like Sam Sulik. But, Jarl Balgruuf, I have the utmost respect for Jarl Balgruuf. I think if all the Jarls fought, him and Ulfric will be the last two standing. Obviously, Ulfric has shouts, so, that's just something to deal with. Jarl Balgruuf has the baller in him. But relatively, I think I could probably beat most of the Jarls, 75% of the time. Now, Jarl Balgruuf, he's probably going to be the strongest of the Jarls, obviously. This is some random dude in iron armor, and he looks like he's just pulling up the fist. Low-key, probably could beat a guy just throwing up his fist. I'll give him a 75% chance, just because I don't know him. 75% chance I'm going to win. The carriage ride, dude. I don't know this guy's power level, but he could travel anywhere across the map in an instant with his carriage. But that's the thing, though, is does he come with the carriage or not? If he comes with the carriage, then he's friggin' probably the strongest guy on this list. But he also just sits down all day. So he's a very let's take base form, just him sitting down all day. Probably about a 100%. This guy's already dead. I think he's a guy who's wearing bone armor. I think he's in one of the anniversary edition DLCs or expansions or something like that. It's a way to get some bone armor base game, but he's already he looks like he's already knocked out. But he's wearing bone armor. So I mean, if it was him alive, he's definitely beating me because I don't think I'm going to pierce bone armor with a steel sword. That's something, let's kind of when we're fighting these guys, if they're wearing Daedric armor, I should be able to use a Daedric sword because it's going to be able to pierce them, Because if I'm just using a steel sword, there's a 0% chance. So it kind of you got to match them. The weapon I get matches them. But if I'm fighting the Greybeards, I'm not going to give my ability to shout. I'm not going to be able to shout. If I'm fighting a mage, I'm not going to be able to use magic. But if I'm fighting a dwarven warrior, I can use a dwarven sword. Kind of match his level. If that makes sense. A shopkeeper, whoop him. The guy in Sidna Mine, he low-key's I eat people for breakfast kind of vibe. He's I just like killing people. Really buff, wears iron gauntlets. When you meet him, you're literally just let's brawl right now, low-key. He's definitely on the higher end, but him also being a prisoner with no armor besides gauntlets has to put him at 50% though. But he is a killer though. He's gonna kill me. Low-key, yeah. It's just like he's not on the same echelon of these 25%. You know? Usually I feel like I should have done it reverse. I should have done this 0% and this 100%. But y'all get the idea. But yeah, he's definitely gonna beat the tar out of me, but he's not the same level as these people. Another Greybeard. I think that's a 0% chance. I mean, the Greybeards can shout. I could draw my sword and they're gonna freeze me. Try attacking on the next playthrough. Go attack one of the Greybeards and see what happens to you. You know, even if you get the upper hand on them, they're gonna whoop you. Now, granted, if in this scenario too, they know I'm gonna fight them, so I don't have the element of surprise. Obviously, if I have the element of surprise, there's a couple of these guys on the list I could take out. You know. Like, if I was given the element of surprise, I could probably take out a lot of these guys. This warrior, he's from Winterhold. I mean, yeah, he's probably going to be up here in that 50% category. Like I said, not in that upper 25%. The Thieves Guild dude, I forgot his name. Brynrolf? Master of Thief. Becomes a Nightingale. He's probably up here in that 25%, but I'd probably put him in towards the back of the 25%. I think all these people, if they were all to fight each other individually, I think he would lose out of these 4, or leaves these 5. That's just my process. This is the guy who works in the Markarth museum thing. I think he's a mage, so that's something to factor in, but he's also kind of like a nerd. So I'd probably throw him in the 50% category. He's a mage, though. I think this guy is another shopkeeper. I would whoop him. That's the girl that everybody was fighting for in Riverwood. I can't remember her name, but I would probably beat her too. Another shopkeeper. She's really annoying. I would go out of my way to beat her up. This guy, he's a part of the Dawn Guard, but I wouldn't put him in that upper echelon of Dawn Guard members. He's a very, I think he's one of the average ones. He's not like the woman or the guy who trains the orcs. He's like the middleman. So he would probably go into the 50% category. But he has to fight vampires for a living, so I wish I set the criteria for this match, because then it would be more fun, but don't even know who this guy is. Wearing orcish armor though, so he's probably gonna whoop me. But like I said, I know who these guys are, so that's why I'm gonna put him in that. Cicero is a hard one to pick out, because on one hand, he's one of the shortest characters in the game. But then on the other hand, he bests this guy. He literally stabs this guy. And almost takes him out for the count. So does that invalidate him being in the 25%? Or does that just really show how powerful Cicero is? I think Cicero I think he'll be in the top of the Dark Brotherhood. I think he's going to beat both Dark Brotherhood members. But the thing is, I don't know if he would beat Alayla the Huntress, because she's also a werewolf, But I don't know. I think he's going to get the upper hand. Because, obviously I'm fighting these people, but also I'm putting myself in the mindset that, what if these people were to fight each other? Who would come out on top? And I think his sneakiness and stuff like that is going to win him the battle. I would love to do this tier list eventually again, where it's me ranking who would be the overall winner. But I would also have to get some lore updates on some of the gods. I feel like I couldn't do it properly with the gods in there. The Imperial dude. I think he's one of the higher ups. He's Imperial, so he's a soldier. So he's gonna be a little bit better than the average little raider you're gonna run into. But he's not. I don't think he's gonna quite be that 25%. The courier can find you regardless of where you are, so that's kind of scary. But at the same time, he's the courier. You could beat him. The Moth Priest. I don't know why I skipped some. Delphine, actually. I'm sorry. Delphine. I know she's a blade, and she has blade armor later in the game. She helps you fight a dragon, so she has that under her belt. But I would see a world where I beat her. Oop, he goes down here. Sorry. Did I grab him? Where did I put him? Where did I put freaking... Oh, Delphine. Delphine is not a god. Sorry. Delphine... Probably going to be in that 50% category. Probably on the top of the 50% category. Another Thieves Guild member. But he has ties to the Dark Brotherhood. This kind of hinted at that. So I feel like he probably was an assassin in his former before we met him. So I think that's going to give him the edge over Brynjolf. Yeah, I think he would be a 25% chance. Moth Priest, as low as you can probably be. He can use a weapon. I know he can use a weapon, but he's blind. If we're going off the version in this image, he's blind. So I can beat that. Another Greybeard. All the Greybeards are about equal. The Jarl, I think I beat her. She's a pretty small woman. This guy, probably about a 75% chance. He looks like a decently buff dude, and if I think correctly, he's the one you meet in Markarth that starts to sit in the mine quest line. So he's got some ball knowledge, you know? He's not just a normal citizen or a child like these upper echelon people. He has a little bit more awareness. So the what is his name? The Emperor. He's pretty low. I mean, he has power. If he could bring his whole army with him, obviously he'd be really high up there, but he's not. So I mean, he's just an old dude who really just wants you to kill him at the end of the day too. Greymane, whatever his name is, or Whitemane, or whatever his name is. He's the freaking blacksmith for the companions. So he probably has some sort of companions thing skills, but he's also very old. So I'm gonna put him in the 50%. I don't think he's on the same level as Alayla the Huntress. He's pretty weak in comparison. I think this is the guy you go find when you try to go find the books. He is magical. That already puts him over the top echelon, because if I'm coming at him with a sword and he has magic, also for this point of the arm, I would have armor too. I'd probably have base steel or iron armor. I'm not gonna have Daedric armor for this fight, obviously. So I could take a couple of hits. It's not just base me, base Elderfall coming at him. But magic, I mean, that's going to be kind of hard to beat. It's hard to beat magic. So I'll put him in the 25%. This guy looks like a normal citizen. I can't remember his name, but he probably is not that important. So probably going to put him towards the middle. Fendal, I'll give him a 75% chance. Good with the bow, but what is he going to do when I close distance with him with a sword? If he can land a shot on me, I'm pretty cooked. But if I can get to him, I think he's pretty cooked. That's the whatever, the Thane or guard, or not. He's not a guard. He's the second hand man to the Solitude Queen, the Thane or whatever it's called, the freaking Jarl. Pretty average dude, so he's probably gonna go up into that 100% category that I could beat. Someone's gonna be like, this guy actually right here, he's a god, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. The guy in Whiterun, the magic dude, he's going to be a pretty hard one to beat as well. That's another 25%. Farkas might be a hot take. I think Farkas might be the best companion member. Hardest, having the hardest time is going to be probably him. Just youngest, two-handed sword, very aggressive. Gonna be pretty hard. This guy, ancient warrior, from whatever it's called, not Oblivion, but you know what I'm talking about. The end of the game. 0% chance. He's already dead too, and he can shout. Probably higher than the Greybeards because he can also shout. This old man probably is going to be the easiest Dark Brotherhood member to fight. I mean, literally, when he died, he got freaking pincushed into a tree. So we don't really get to see his capabilities as a attacker. But I would low-key probably put him into the 50%. Very similar to this guy, where, yes, they're very a part of some strong factions, but they're just so old. Random Hunter. He's gonna have hunting experience, so he's probably gonna be a little bit better. So I'll probably put him in the bottom of 75%. A ghost. I just don't see how I kill. I mean, in the game you can actually kill ghosts pretty easily. I don't know what ghost this is. It's kind of hard to tell from the image, so I'm gonna probably put the ghost in 50% because 50-50. I mean, maybe I win, maybe I don't. This guy's like a general, so he's gonna be pretty hard to kill. He's probably in that upper 50%, probably on the same level as these three. Literally like the general of the Imperial Legion, so he's probably going to be pretty nasty to fight. He's probably going to be in that 25%. Another god, not a god, but another like ghost from another realm that can shout. Who is that? I cannot tell who that is. He just looks like a normal dude though. The guy that helps you out at the beginning of the game, or doesn't, depending on what choice you pick. Soldier, so that has to be something to factor in. Pretty average soldier at best, though, so he's probably going to be in that 50%. Probably can take him, you know? Trying to think. He's definitely going to be below those guys. Probably around dead center in the middle at 50-50%. You know, he's like definition of 50-50. Really no question there. The horseman, I mean, he comes with his horse. I feel like you have to associate him with his horse. So yeah, ghost, horse. I don't even think you can damage him in the game fast. I mean, I think I'm dead. I think there's a 0% chance I beat the headless horseman. The weirdo outside of Whiterun who's like screams all day. I mean, let me just beat him up like simply. Loki. Give me a second. The Moth Priest is definitely at the top of this list. I could definitely be the Moth Priest. A dead guy. I can't remember who he is. Since I can't, I'm gonna put him at 75%. Being her. He looks a lot tougher than the average dude, so he's probably gonna be about that 75%. I don't think he's that 50% echelon. You know, I don't really know his warrior experience. A Jarl, gonna probably beat that Jarl. The Jarl's like helper, probably gonna be in that 50%. Help fight a dragon, but I could see there's a world where I beat her. This bald mofo, basically like the leader of the Dawn Guard, gonna be pretty strong. I think he's gonna be up in that 25%. But I could see a lot of these guys up here beating him still. Like, I think Falkus is going to beat him. I think she beats him. I think all these three could beat him. Because you got to give them their props. Like, these stealth guys are going to be able to use stealth, you know. Another ghost from the Soul Karen. I mean, how am I going to beat someone from the Soul Karen? That's like the thing I'm trying to think about. But also, it's just a ghost. So I'm probably going to put it in the 50% next to the other ghost. Someone in that place. I don't think he's one of the magical ones. He doesn't have like the shout ability. But I know one of these guys is gonna be that freaking like that really buff dude. Not the buff dude, but like the big warrior. So I don't really know. I don't know. I think it's this one or it's this one. One of the two. But he's there for a purpose. He's a warrior. Let's take him while he's alive. Probably about a 20 or 50% chance. I don't know. I'll give him a 25. He seems kind of strong. Jazargo, probably in the upper echelon of the 25%. I would say he's weaker than this guy. But his magic ability probably could best the rest of the guys below him. I think Jazargo could take out all these guys below him in a fight. All those, yeah. That's kind of like my other thought process. Carlia, pretty good with making poison. She made a paralyzed potion basically to like paralyze us. She's also a Nightingale. Probably going to be in that 25%. I think she beats Jazargo, but doesn't beat this guy. I mean, he basically was able to control like the Eye of Magnus, and he was the final boss, so he's probably pretty strong. Can't remember her name. But has a Warhammer, gauntlets, probably about that 75% chance. Looks like she can fight. These guys also look like they can fight. I think he's the one who's trying to go get that one woman. You know, ooh, the Red Guard woman. This guy, similar to his brother, I don't know if he has all the same abilities as his brother. His brother's a lot harder of a fight. We got to assume he's probably in the same range, though. But I think a lot of these ancient warriors with their ability to shout might beat him. We know what this guy's capable of. We're not quite sure what the brother was capable of. So I would still hold him in the 0% chance. He's old, but he's the leader of the companions. It's gotta be. I think he's the highest on the 25%. Low key, I think Farkas beats him. I think Farkas could beat him. Alayla, probably not. I think Alayla's going to beat him. His magic ability is going to beat him. Karliah's probably going to beat him. He's very old, and he's like blind in an eye. Jazarga's going to beat him. Mercer Frey's not going to beat him, though. So that's kind of where he stops. Probably about the same for me. Another Jarl. This guy looks a little bit younger, so he's probably going to be on the Jarl Balgruuf side. Another Jarl. Looks pretty, like, tame. Probably going to go over there. Lord Harkin. It's very, like, he could probably be the top of 0%. So, yeah, I don't know. The guy who owns the Riverwood Trader. Normal dude. Probably going to beat him pretty easily. Lydia. Lydia's a good soldier. Not a soldier, but, like, a good combatant. Probably going to be up in that 75% chance. I don't think she is on the same echelon of these 50% people. I would probably argue he's probably down there too, actually. But yeah, like these people are like trained warriors or killers. The blacksmith, I don't know why he's doing in the 50% chance. He should probably be down here, actually. Put him towards the top of that list. Yeah, like these people have something. These people in the 50% chance have like a little bit more oomph to them. They're like either like a soldier or something like that. Freaking that weird Khajiit dude. I can't remember his name right now, but he's like the one that he's everywhere. He's like in every Elder Scrolls game. Probably in that 0% chance. No, I'm just kidding. I could beat him. I'm not gonna undercredit the dude. He's like literally like in every Elder Scrolls game. He's like really weird. So I'll give him that 50% chance. Because like base him I could beat, but like the lore implications and like how weird he is, it might throw it around. Maven Blackbriar, she has a lot of power, but just base her, probably gonna beat her, most of the time. But I wouldn't say it's a fair fight. Like she's probably, yeah, probably there, like about to be into the 75%. You know, what is this Mercer? This is not. Is this Mercer Frey? It's the leader of the guild. He has a really good sword, a gold sword that also takes your healing if it hits you. Master Thief. Takes 3 people. It takes Karliah, Brynjolf, and us to take him down. So he's probably up here. It's kind of like if Karliah has prep time, she's probably beating Brynjolf. I think Karliah with prep time pushes her up the list a lot more. But we're not going to give people prep time. That's not fair. Like, I think Cicero with prep time is going to do really well. But also, he's just so unpredictable. Almost like a Deadpool character. Like, even without prep time, he's going to still be insane. Another magic person from the college. Any of the college professors are probably going to be pretty good. Probably better than Jazargo. But I would say her stealth archeriness and her ability to make alchemy is probably going to overtake her. That one girl, warrior, very strong. Probably going to be in that 50%. She's a traveling warrior. The guy who's a part of Dawn Guard, not quite the 25%. Probably going to be very similar to his friend who's right here. I don't know her name. She looks like a pretty average lady. Nazim, freaking, just let me squish Nazim. Like, I would have a separate tier up here, just like Nazim. The Night Mother, she's basically almost already dead. Like, no offense. Like, if I get to the Night Mother, I think I'm killing the Night Mother pretty easily. I know she's, like, powerful and stuff, but, like, in her base form, she's pretty, like, defenseless. I think I could take her out pretty well. The This is one of our first gods, the Nightingale one. 0% chance probably with these guys. I mean, I'll put him in the 25% because I actually don't know if this is the really powerful one that I'm thinking of. This is one of the guys that's there with this guy. I don't know if he's really strong though. Give me a second. Ooh, wait, there. Wait, holy crap, wait. Wait, can I do this? Y'all gonna be like, this is the most, like, unorganized freaking tier list ever. They go down. The gods. This makes it so much easier. Should have made it like this originally. And then 75% goes down one. This looks so much better. The gods up here. This, okay, the tier list. I fixed the tier list. I fixed it, guys. I'm so. Are y'all proud of me? I just fixed that. What I was gonna do is I was gonna add a white row, or actually this is gonna be dark green. Add a row above, and this one's gonna be really weird. I'm just gonna put a question mark. You know. Because, for example, the ghost, any of the ghost creatures, any of the people who are already dead, very questionable if I can actually beat them or not. Him, I don't know if I can actually beat them. Question mark, because I mean, like, it's a question, you know? He's a question. He looks like a normal guy, so he's probably about in that, like, that 50% range. Freaking the weirdo that hangs out with the Jarl. This is the other option. He's probably going to be very similar to this guy. A little bit weaker because, I mean, he's not a trained soldier. Actually, he's in the completely wrong spot. This guy. It's the two options you pick at the beginning of the game. He's a rebel and he's a soldier, so. Looks like it's just a base Imperial soldier. Probably going to be weaker than those guys, but they're going to be an Imperial soldier, so, I mean, they're trained. Looks like a normal guy. Another Thieves Guild member. He's probably going to be on the weaker end of the Thieves Guild members. Probably in that 50% category. Not quite the 25% ones we have up here, like Brynrolf and stuff like that. And whatever his name is. This is another, like, Daedric god. Oops, sorry. Another Daedric god. Probably not going to... Is he a Daedric god, or is he just a Daedric prince? Same thing. Those guys are going to be kind of hard to... Probably, they're like gods. He's, like, the master of the college. Granted, he gets blown away, but him base version, he's probably one of the strongest magical characters we have in the game. Probably is going to beat those two. Yeah. This guy gets pretty... Like, he's pretty weak, low-key. Serana, probably going to be in that 0% category. Not quite her father. But I think everybody else on this list is probably going to be stronger than him. I'm going to put him in question mark, and I'm going to put him in question mark because I don't really know what to do with those guys. God. Jarl, pretty easy. He looks like a pretty young Jarl, so he might be in that 75%. The guy who owns the Dawnstar thing, he gets killed pretty easily, and he seems like a pretty normal dude. He's like just this random armored dude who sits in the bar in Whiterun, the Banner Mare, and it just doesn't do anything. Another Jarl. Skjor, he gets killed pretty early on, and we don't really get to see his capabilities. For that reason, I'm going to put him in 50%. I think he's going to be the hardest of the 50%. Because we don't really know his implications. I would argue he's probably 25%, but he also gets killed so early on in the story. As a child. Would I beat them in a fight? I don't know who this is. Just because I don't know who there is, they're going into 100% beat. I'm going to beat him. Gonna beat him. That's the college dude. He's another magic user. Probably in the 25% though. Probably around the same as Jizargo. Don't know who this is, but he has magic abilities, so that already puts him in the 25% probably. But I'm gonna put him in the bottom because I don't. He's killing me. He's lower. He's probably lower than these guys. I would argue he probably can beat them, but I don't know. 25% chance. I mean, he has the ability to shout, and he's a pretty good combatant. Probably actually the highest of the 25%. But like, if I can like get a slash on him, he doesn't have armor, so yeah. Literally no idea who this is. It looks like someone who's soul trapping something. Or I think he's one. It might be one of those wizards in the Solitude quest line that has like the power going to them as they're trying to summon the creature. If that's that, then it's probably like a 75% chance. Her got rejected from the companions, so she's not companions level, but she's a good fighter. Got some decent armor on. Probably about Lydia level. Probably a little bit higher than Lydia. He's just a bartender in the Thieves Guild, but I'm assuming he's probably got some experience, so he's probably up in that 75%. Vex, another Thieves Guild member. I would argue she's probably the weakest of the Thieves Guild members we've probably ranked. Not because she's a woman, but because like just like size-wise, she's pretty small, and we don't really get to see a whole lot about her, like combat-wise. We kind of know that this guy has like some ties to like the Dark Brotherhood, so she's probably in that 50%. Vilcus is beating her. He's beating her, but he's not gonna beat her. Skjor's beating her. I mean, Vilcus probably gonna be between Alayla and he's probably stronger than Farkas. Actually, I want Farkas to be stronger, but I know he's not. Random woman. They're all about the same. Oh, this is like the main one, so I'm going to put him at the top. Another question mark, because I think that might be the really powerful one I'm thinking of. I'd beat her. Another god. I'm not going to rank the gods properly. He's the highest of 0%. The Ebony Warrior, 0%. I think the Ebony Warrior, because he can also shout, I think he could beat everyone below that. The gods. I'm not going to rank the gods based on their ability to fight, because they're just going to... I mean, I need to learn more about the gods. This is a 0% chance. Probably above them. I think they could take a dragon out. Is this freaking Esbern? It looks like Esbern. I could beat Esbern. But he had to be in that 75%. Parthenax. Not Parthenax. That's Parthenax we just rated. This is Alduin. Alduin's the Eater of Worlds, kind of like a god, so I'm going to put him on god level. This looks like someone wearing Daedric armor, so I'm probably going to put them in that 0%. Random woman, probably in that 75%. Another god. I would say these are probably the weakest. Like, I know those aren't like strong gods. I would argue that Alduin probably at the bottom of that. But yeah, I mean, this was a tier list on if I would beat them in a fight, but this also could be seen as a tier list as like a power ranking. Like my idea of a power ranking for Skyrim characters. So thank you all for watching. It has been a little bit of a longer video, and I will see you all later. Bye.